Maelden! The troops report that the city is ours. Vortigern's forces have been routed.
At last, after 8 months of fighting, we have the old tyrant cornered.
I will have his head for raising my hometown.
To the castle!
With his last remaining forces, our enemy is holed up inside his castle.
Hiding behind his lackeys, no doubt.
So the question is, how do we get in there?
We have fought so long against Vortigern the Bloody, we cannot let a castle wall stop us.
I believe we have faced tougher situations than this.
Looks like I can climb up here.
It should be me. I am the strongest fighter on our side.
And let no one doubt that, Lady Branwen. But even you cannot stand up to the entire castle guard. This task will require stealth.
Fine. You go in and open the gate. Just be quick about it.
You have my word.
Maelden! Watch out! Elegant as always, Branwen. Maelden, your magic girdle will offer protection in an emergency, but best be careful anyway.
Open the gate and we shall join you.
You will be inside before you can blink.
This has to be the most boring shift in the country. I hope next week I get the city gates. Maybe I'll see some action there. No enemy would ever get past the city gates.
What was that? Somebody ought to fix that door. What is it?
What are we guarding against?
Didn't you hear? The White Blade army is at the gates. We have to stop them from reaching our king.
Shall I go and guard the upper floors?
No, we must stay here. Geraint's orders.
So that is why the guard back there is drinking so much.
What? Oh, not again, after what happened last week.
What are you two talking about?
Nothing, sir.
Nobody is drunk in the barracks, sir.
Really? Stay here. I shall deal with this personally.
You should not have said that. Hey, what are you doing?
Special orders from Sir Geraint.
Really?
Letting in reinforcements.
We get more troops? Good to hear that.
What is going on here? Stop that man! No!
Geraint, you are too late. You're outnumbered. Stand down or perish.
So, the little rebellion is finally here. Branwyn in Whiteblade, I presume.
I am not Maeldoom. He is already with you.
A pleasure to meet you, Geraint.
What? Those arrows should have killed you.
Ah, the magic girdle was Taliesin's idea.
Perhaps the idea was mine, but you have earned it yourself.
You rotten coward! How dare you come in here using stealth and sorcery? Come and face me with a blade!
Strong words for someone who burns down undefended villages.
I never forget a face. You will not sneak past me again.
Nor will he need to. Drop your weapons. Now!
Baylor's eye! I yield!
Soldier, stand fast and protect your king.
There's too many of them! I surrender! Me as well! We have lost!
What? You weasels!
You are defeated, Geraint. We have our troops inside and you stand alone now.
Never! I stand with King Vortigern!
That man is entirely too stubborn.
Soldiers, secure the castle. We go after him.
Vortigern, your conquest ends now.
How dare you trespass here? Did my defenses fail me after all?
I am here, my king. Say the word, and I shall strike them down.
Come and try it. I've been waiting to cut you down to size.
You will fall, and your mercenaries with you!
Wait! I yield. The crown is yours.
I shall take it from your dead body.
Branwyn!
Lady Branwyn, would you truly strike down an unarmed man?
Curse you. No, I would not.
Can you do less, Geraint? Listen to your king.
Fine.
Well spoken, Maeldoom. You heard the man. The crown is yours.
I have no desire to run this rotten mess of a country. Vortigern, we shall leave you your life and city. You will stay within your borders and pay reparations to the cities you have attacked.
So shall it be. But as Ashin departed from Tiernanan, he found that 300 years had passed in our world, and nobody recognized him. Unable to return, he died alone and forgotten.
A good tale, old friend, but is it not a bit sad for our celebration of the equinox?
Yes, would you tell once more of the mighty battle of Cuchulainn?
And well you should study it, beloved, for you have yet to defeat me with the sword.
At least our swords have not drawn blood in over a year. That alone is cause for joy.
So it is. Now, kindly pass me the mead, for my throat is parched.
It is good to have this time to celebrate away from the battles of the world.
Geraint?
The lapdog of Vortigern the Bloody? You seek your own death coming here!
Wait!
Stay your hand, Branwyn. This is a day of festival, not bloodshed.
Festival or no, this man shall have no meat or wine from my table.
I do not want your hospitality, Whiteblade. But though it pains me to admit it, Talon needs your help.
You, who burned my hometown to the ground, come here to plead for help. You should start by groveling.
Never. I do not plead. I have a simple message from King Vortigern. Do you wish to hear it?
Very well. Then speak up for Vortigern the usurper. Then leave us to our feast and crawl back to your master.
The message is thus. Rashak Skullcrusher, warlord of the goblins, is lacking in food to keep his rapidly growing population from starving. Rather than taking up farming or honest trade, he has decided to assault Talon and to simply take what he wants.
I am deeply touched, and this concerns us how?
Need I remind you that Talon, or what's left of it, is all that stands between the goblins and the southern realms? Should our defenses fail, nothing will stop the goblins from spreading out and overrunning our neighboring countries.
By Baelor's eye, the man does have a point.
King Vortigern needs all the warriors he can find, and that includes you.
Is that it?
It is. What do you say?
We will think on this. Now go. You have imposed on us for long enough.
I shall return tomorrow for your answer.
I do not like this plan.
It is clearly dangerous, but we have little choice but to assist against the goblins.
Did I mention I do not like this plan?
Yes, and I agree with you. But we cannot in good conscience leave the southern realms at the goblins' mercy.
I'd sooner trust a snake than deal with the bloody king once more. It could be a trap, you know.
If that were true, remember that we defeated him once before.
Land ho! We will be in Talon in a matter of hours.
Taliesin, you're in charge of setting up camp. Lady Branwyn and I are expected in the castle.
And we had best stay fully alert. And it would be prudent if you wore your father's girdle.
I agree. It is a shame that one cannot bring arms or soldiers to a noble's dinner table.
Lady Branwyn and her consort, Meldon Whiteblade, have arrived.
So I see. Be welcome, both of you. I am glad that we meet under more fortuitous circumstances than last time. And on behalf of all of Talon, I am grateful for your assistance.
We do not need...
Thank you, Your Majesty. The goblins pose a dire threat. We consider it our duty to help the innocent.
Good. be at home. I shall speak to you at dinner.
Innocent Maelden?
I did not speak of him, only of his people.
If you would walk this way, my lord, I shall take you to the throne room. Her Royal Highness Rhiannon, Princess of Talon, heir to the throne.
Indeed.
Lady Branwyn and her consort Maelden Whiteblade.
We are honored to be in your presence, Your Highness.
Yes, much honored. On behalf of the king, I welcome you to Castle Talon. Paradur, you may leave us.
Yes, Your Highness.
I trust your journey was a pleasant one? Mostly so.
We had fair weather and wind in our sails. We are glad to have made it here so swiftly. Our troops are presently setting up camp in the old fort near Havgan, as King Vortigern requested.
Thank you for your support in these difficult times. I shall leave you two to diplomatic pleasantries and speak with you later. The Lady Branwyn does not like me much, it appears.
It is hard to blame her for that, since it was your father that raised her homeland.
My apologies. I did not know that. Yet nevertheless, we need to cooperate to drive these vile goblins out of our lands. Do you feel this is possible?
Branwyn has a fiery temper, yet her heart is noble. I do vouch for that.
That is good to hear. I suppose that likewise you wish me to keep Geraint in check?
That might be necessary. He looks at me as if all the evil in the world were my doing.
And it is hard to blame him for that, since it was you that struck down his king.
Well, at least we have that much in common.
This will be difficult for all, yet we shall make it work, for the alternatives are frightening. We have a lot to discuss, but this should wait until dinner. My father has retired to his chambers for repose and will be with us this evening.
It will be interesting to speak with him again.
There are some other people invited to Castle Talon that are eagerly expecting your presence. After all, you have quite the reputation. Also, a room has been prepared on the upper floor in the eastern wing. Please be at home, and we shall speak further over dinner.
Thank you, Your Highness.
Good day, my lord.
Please, tell me about the castle.
You can find the library downstairs, next to the throne room. There is also the guard room and the servant quarter. The upper floor contains several bedrooms and private chambers. A guest room has been prepared for you, to the right of the stairs.
Could you do...
I have my duties, my lord. Perhaps Lord Paradur...
Thank you.
As you wish.
Pleasant tidings to thee.
Maelden, at your service.
I am most pleased to meet you, Lord Maelden. You are obviously a strong man with a noble heart. My name is Isolde, and I am a humble merchant of ornamental trinkets here in Carboneau.
Are you worried about the goblins?
I have heard they are ugly as the night, and smell like rotten offal. Indeed, it is a wonderful thing that you have come to us to drive away these horrendous creatures.
Surely you know Geraint.
I do not frequently speak to soldiers, as that is hardly my place, but he is a capable commander, and has led us to victory in the past.
As well as to defeat.
Well, whatever would you know of that?
Ladies, let us not bicker over history, but think of our present situation.
How is King Vortigern these days?
Our wise and noble King Vortigern has always led us with a strong yet fair hand, ever since the unfortunate accident that took his father.
Strong yet fair. What a most interesting description.
I'm sure that you will enjoy speaking to him over dinner. Were you not his ally in times past?
I was not quite Vortigern's ally.
But that is of no importance. We are all most grateful that you came to us in our time of need and peril.
What do you mean by ornamental trinkets?
I buy, sell, and fabricate jewelry of all kinds you can imagine, and possibly even some kinds that you cannot. It would be my honor to gift you with some attribute to offset your complexion. I think a brooch would be fitting. Do come over by my store in town once all the formalities in Castle Talon are over.
That is an honor, Lord Meldon. Lady Iseult rarely gives such personal attention to new customers.
Is Princess Rhiannon one of your customers?
Princess Rhiannon is a sweet young lady, full of the vigor and naivety of youth. And indeed, she does come by my store every so often. It has been absolutely wonderful to see her grow up all these years. It would be dreadful if the arrival of these goblins would cast a shadow on all that. Between you and me, at her young age, she can be very stubborn at times. You had best be careful of what you say to her.
Could you...
Oh, but there is no need for...
Good day to you.
I would be delighted to speak to you again, Lord Whiteblade.
Good to see you, Lord.
I do not think we have been introduced.
Yes, my apologies for this oversight. I am Lord Parador, and I am the Royal Chancellor. You, of course, require no introduction. I am certain that everybody here recognizes our benevolent ally.
What does a Chancellor do?
I perform various tasks, mainly on the administrative level. Basically, I am responsible for the day-to-day running of the kingdom. Issues such as supply, logistics, and taxation. But I shall not bore you with the detail.
What do you know of the goblins?
I am no strategist, my lord. I know they are a fierce enemy, and a force to be reckoned with.
As are my mercenaries.
Indeed. I am sure that King Vortigern and Lord Geraint will find ample time to discuss tactics with you.
Surely you know Geraint.
But of course. Lord Geraint has been the commander of the Talon army for nearly a decade now. You will likely find him in the barracks. He has little interest in luxury.
I hardly see him as a customer, unless he needs a new insignia for something.
What is this game you are looking at?
It is called Damfrey. It is a tactical board game where two players try to outwit one another and take over the board. I practice it often to keep...
I would be interested in playing against you.
Shall I explain the rules of this game? You take the blue pieces, and I take the red ones. When it is your turn, place a piece on the playing field next to one of mine. Any of my pieces that are between your new piece and one of your older pieces are captured. Captured pieces change to your color. When the field is full, the player with the most pieces wins. That is not... That... That I have won. Yes. That you are not allowed to. That is not. You are not allowed. You cannot. You are not allowed. I have no possible move. Well done. You have defeated me. It has been a pleasure playing against you.
Hello, Mail.
What are you reading?
There are several chronicles of the old history of these realms. It is a fascinating subject. On days like this, I'm glad you taught me to read.
What do you think of this place?
As I said before, I do not like it at all. I know we must be here to guard the southern realms, yet I wish we could just cast away all these Thaylen folk and do it ourselves. I understand the need for all this, but do not expect me to spend the night under the blood.
You mean you are returning to the camp this night?
I care not how far a ride it is.
Have you spoken to anyone here?
Hardly, except for some vague pleasantries. I am leaving the diplomatic parts to you, Mail.
How do you think Taliesin fared?
I am certain he fares well. Surely the camp's been set up and our troops roasting some venison while he recounts one of those wild tales of his. It would be a happier mood than in this gloomy castle.
We shall endeavour to make it less gloomy over dinner, my lady.
Indeed. I have heard that a grand feast is being prepared.
I will speak to...
Very well.
Good to see...
How is...
His Majesty has been troubled lately with recent affairs. Yet I do believe that your timely arrival has done much for his well-being. You had best ask him that...
Thank...
It is good...
What are you doing? Maelden.
What is the state of the Thaylen army?
It is in good shape. I hope your mercenaries meet up to their standards.
Can you tell me of the goblins?
Of course I can, but we shall discuss...
What is behind...
It leads to the dungeon. Surely a man of your stature is familiar with the inside of such cells.
How is King Vortigern these days?
You, Whiteblade, are the very last person with any right of asking that.
Do you know the Chancellor?
I know everybody who works in this castle by name. That includes Paradur.
Could you tell me about Lady Isolde?
Yes, I know her. If you know it is good for you, stay away from her.
What is
The princess is not your concern.
Goodbye, girl.
Cease... I should have known it were you pulling our alarm.
Blessings to you.
May I ask your name?
Certainly. I am Finnegas, cleric of the nearby monastery. It is good to meet you, Lord Maelden. For this important discussion, some representatives of the Taylan people were invited, so that all sides of the goblin problem can be seen. I am sure that my old friend Merlin will come by shortly.
Surely you know Geraint.
I am not knowledgeable in the matter of swords and soldiers, but I am told he is a strong leader and cunning tactician.
What is Chancellor Parador like?
Lord Parador is a pleasant man who is in charge of most of the daily work at Castle Taylan.
He has been part of the court since my grandfather's days, and was named Chancellor several years ago.
They are a blight upon our lands that need to be driven back. We are fortunate to have your help in this matter, or we would indeed find ourselves in dire straits.
Do you know?
Not very well, I must say. She is one of the more successful traders in Carbonac.
Indeed, she has come here to speak on behalf of several merchants.
What is it that you do with the monastery?
I would be happy to discuss this at length with you, but at present I'm engaged. Perhaps we could talk. The pleasure is mine.
What is it?
I bid you.
We shall speak. Thank you. I shall take.
It makes me glad to have all of us gathered here in this time of need. Truly, I thank you all for coming, most especially our foreign guests who have traveled far to come to our aid.
A toast to Lord Whiteblade.
That is entirely premature.
Yes. Before we begin toasting, we should partake of this delicious meal. Finnegas?
Indeed. Divine blessing to us all around this table, and may we see Taylan through past these hard times to a new era of prosperity.
Well said.
Let us be grateful for this bounty of the land, and hope for the fair folk to support us in our travail.
What is this fair folk?
The fairies of the She, who according to tale and legend lived here in times past.
Or so do country folk say. Most people in Carbonac have adopted a more practical manner, rather than leaving small sacrifices out at night.
Your Highness, the Royal Tailor has arrived, and awaits you at your convenience.
Very well. Instruct him to wait in the library, and have him brought refreshments. I shall see him after dinner.
As you command, Your Highness.
Lady Branwyn, do tell me if that is the height of fashion in your country. It would look simply delightful if offset with some simple jewelry.
You do not know of what you speak.
What she means is that her hometown...
Geralt, I do believe you are most informed about the whereabouts and movement of the goblins. Kindly enlighten us.
Yes, sire. Rashak the Warlord has set up a camp at the border of the steppe, west of Carbanook.
And has he created any defensive fortifications?
Your Highness, with all due respect, you are rather inexperienced concerning martial affairs.
Perhaps she is, yet the girl asks a good question.
The goblins mean to march further into Talon, so they have not created a solid defensive position for themselves.
That would seem advantageous to our plight.
Indeed. With our own troops, we would have no difficulty keeping them out of Carbanook, but the rest of Talon would be in danger. With the addition of the mercenary troops, we have the ability to mount a solid offense.
Are these mercenaries fully trained and ready for combat?
Of course they are. My troops are veterans who can stand their ground in any battle.
It would be difficult to match Talon discipline. Yet, I was under the impression that these were Lord Whiteblade's troops.
Then you figured wrong, milady. I am our field leader, and Maelden is our diplomat.
Nor is he a lord, as will be plain from recent history.
Please, let us not argue over our relative rank at this table.
Indeed, for surely we are all alike in the eyes of our dear fairies.
Paradur, such sarcasm ill becomes you.
Your Highness, it is not your place to admonish the King's High Chancellor.
Nor is it your place to strike such a tone to the heir princess.
Please, everyone, calm down. We must all be allied here. Thank you all for your presence and your opinions tonight. I wish to retire to my chambers shortly. It would be apt to meet tomorrow morning to discuss a tactical plan for our situation.
Then I shall prepare a map for our campaign.
I would hardly be the one to advise you on that. Hence, I would take my leave of you and return to Havgen this night.
Likewise, I mean to return to our camp tonight to verify that everything is in order.
I shall accompany you part of the way. May the light guide you safely to your homes.
And I would take my leave of you, as I have kept Mida waiting.
A servant will show you to your room, Lord Whiteblade. We shall reconvene in the morning.
I bid you all good night.
Halt! Why this noise at night? And why is there blood on your hands?
The king has been slain. The murderer is getting away.
It is true! Our king lies dead in his bedroom! Seize the foreigner!
No, it was not me. A robed figure fled from his chambers.
But you hold the bloody dagger in your hands. The dagger bears the crest of Lady Branwen. It is obviously yours.
You are making a mistake. The murderer escaped through that door.
Looks like we found our murderer. Take him to the princess, and somebody get the commander, quickly!
Meodon, is this how you repay our hospitality? To come here under the guise of aid and plot a cold-blooded murder?
Your Highness, I assure you that I am innocent.
Your Highness, are you unharmed?
I am. Yet this man has murdered my father.
Baelor's Eye. I am hardly surprised. I had always considered him a treacherous weasel. Was it not enough for you to bring him to ruin 3 years ago? I had always advised King Vortigern not to trust you.
Geraint, I did not harm the king. There was a cloaked figure that ran from his chamber.
Sir, we checked the upper floor, and there was no sign of this cloaked figure.
Obviously, the vile serpent is lying.
As you say, lock him up and guard him well. He shall be executed at dawn.
Yes, my lord.
What of his troops? Surely those mercenaries are up to no good.
I shall set out sentries immediately, Your Highness. They must be confined to keep them out of our country. This is indeed a precarious position.
Oh, Geraint! How can we cope with this without my father?
I fear I have no answer for you, Your Highness. You must stand strong, or Talon is lost.
The Banshee doth call. The end is nigh.
Nay, it is merely an ending.
The land doth stand at the brink of turmoil, and will soon topple into chaos. Surely thou dost see that.
It is not too late for the tides to turn, and there are those who wish it so.